Everyone, Chris here. Thanks for checking out this weather update on your Monday evening here on We Are Iowa Plus. I hope you are doing well. I'm going to be tracking thunderstorms as we continue on through the later stages of the afternoon and into our evening. I do have that weather impact alert day status going. That is going to last until 10 o'clock here for tonight. Level 2 risk on the severe weather outlook for traditional storm threats of wind and then heavy rain as well. Just depending on how the scenario goes, we'll be watching for some flash flooding prospects, but no clear-cut winner on who would have the best chance to see it. There's no flood watches in place and definitely conditional on getting some stagnant thunderstorms or training thunderstorms over the same area. So here's a look. Severe thunderstorm watch over extreme northeastern Iowa. As you see, no one in central Iowa under one just yet, but we are watching central Iowa in the development of thunderstorms along a cold front here and how they develop. So far, the vigor in the development has been kept to a minimum. So that's actually good if you want to steer clear of those traditional thunderstorm threats. So that's what I'm watching so far. We've been tempered in the development, but you definitely see some activity there, especially along and north of this cold front, basically stretched from about Waterloo to Ames, down just on the northwestern edge of the Des Moines Metro and down through Shenandoah, Clarinda. Probably the strongest cell right now is definitely down into southwestern Iowa. We'll go ahead and get a good look on that down in the southwestern portion of the state. And as you look at it, it's just to the north of those same two areas I mentioned, Clarinda and Shenandoah, just to the south of Red Oak, west of Villisca. That's definitely going to be the strongest storm at the moment. Perhaps there's a spot of hail or some gusty wind in there, but not peaking at anything too significant or really anything at all as we check out our hail size. There, it actually popped into view at the last second, perhaps some small hail tucked away in there in that cell just southeast of Red Oak. I think our storm threats primarily going to be wind gusts related out of this, but you do see hail and even tornadoes have a minimal threat. I don't want to say there's zero, but definitely a clear-cut winner on damaging wind potential more so than the other two. That and significant rain potential in on that. I do have the Muggy meter that does stay largely elevated, but we step away from the top end high-end temperatures. So in turn, that's going to mean lower heat indices, but still definitely plenty of energy at play when it comes down to it, just based on the moisture. Moisture is energy. Now, take a look here. This line should develop and fill in. Individual storms will move northeastward. That front is slowly moving to the south and east with time. So that gives a stagnant kind of appearance to the overall line of storms, and that will give us some heavy rainfall, especially over central and southern Iowa here for tonight. A little bit more vigor in the storms once again overnight, but we'll lose the wind characteristic, I think, by 10 o'clock. And we'll have to watch to see how this continues to develop with time. Notice we start to lose the storms as we get through the later stages of the morning, trending much quieter through the afternoon. I don't want to say the storm threat is zero through this time frame, but definitely it's soggier to start the day than to end the day. Then we get into Wednesday, and I think this front still kind of sits over Iowa. We'll see another little source of vigor here through the mid and end stages of the morning before carrying on with some wraparound activity around the backside through the afternoon. So take a look at the amounts of rainfall here, and particularly we're watching these bullseyes where we get into the red, definitely as you see here down into southwestern Iowa. Now, I don't want to give any certain truth to this is exactly where those bullseyes of heavier rain will be, but you see on the large scale, widespread 1 to 2 inches, I think we could be looking at a couple of isolated spots, 3 to maybe even 4 inches here for tonight into early on Tuesday morning. So pinpointing exactly where those will be is difficult, but in general, I'll say central and southern Iowa have the best chance to see it. And if we do start to pick up 3 or 4 inches, that's when the concern would rise, certainly for flash flooding, particularly if it happens over the urban areas or parks it over a larger community. That's where you could find the worst of the impacts being felt. Overall, we'll continue to watch it. Now, through the end of the week, we have almost a daily rain opportunity and picking up some heavier rainfall. And there is a distinct possibility that some spots walk away with as much as 6 inches of rainfall as we move through that time frame. Particularly the northwestern, I'd say 2/3 of the state have that best opportunity. Thankfully, this front isn't parked in one spot. It will move, albeit slowly, north and south across the state through the end of the week. And thankfully, that means that target zone of heavier rain is going to shift as well as that happens. So I think ultimately that's good news. 71 degrees here for tonight. That weather impact alert day is on through that time frame, and then 81 for tomorrow. I think that rain is more concentrated in the morning to really help limit the temperatures. We should get a late day pop, but in the end, difficult to see those big time rises. We should get back to those warmer temperatures, I think, through the end of the week, and targeting 90 degrees, but tough to get it much higher than that when you have those daily rain opportunities, right? It takes the top end off when it comes to those hotter temperatures. Just want to go through a deeper dive in what's going on. I'm going to drive the web browser here. And what I have pulled up is the instability right now. And we can see 4,000, much over central and southern, southeastern Iowa. Storms developing tend to follow these lines. So running from southwest to north and east, we're going to see these storms move in that northeasterly direction. So they move parallel to those lines, which are the instability. And right across that axis, if you will, the gradient as it decreases. So perpendicular to the gradient, parallel to those lines as you see on the screen. There's a lot of energy, and that's going to be the primary driver between seeing strong to severe storms for tonight and heavy rainfall. More energy means you try to pull in more of that moisture, and therefore you get more rainfall. I'm going to show you 2 shear products. This is wind that changes direction with height. I'm only going to show you the lowest kilometer here in this first one. So think of that from the surface to up to 1 kilometer above ground. And the shear values are weak. I wouldn't say they're nothing. As you see here, 10 knots is being noted across central Iowa. I typically like to look for 20 knots when we start talking about an appreciable tornado risk. And in the large scale, I'm going to go from the surface to 6 kilometers. And you see that shear factor increases as you move northwest. But at the same time, that's on the cool side of this cold front. And so that's not the best area that has the energy. So it's a little bit of a give and take. Right in those areas that had a 4,000 Cape, that is where we have 30, maybe 35 knots of energy. I start looking at 40 to 45 as being best for sustaining long-lived thunderstorms. So this shears from the surface to 6 kilometers. And so you start to see those 40 to 50 knot marks, better in northwestern Iowa, but it's behind the front. Okay, so one last one I'm going to show you, and everyone wants to know what the tornado risk is going to be. This is the significant tornado parameter, and ultimately these numbers are pretty low. I don't want to say the threat is 0, but it is ultimately low. I think we're looking at wind gusts being the primary troublemakers here as we go through time. So this is going to be the microburst composite, and this is kind of that arbitrary number, much like the significant tornado parameter is as well. Notice these numbers look much better. The lower levels are more conducive to some downdrafts. So that's what we have with it. And I'll show you the downdraft CAPE as well. The higher this number goes, basically means the better it is to see stronger wind gusts materialize down to the surface. So I think that's going to be our primary threat here for tonight, that and flooding rainfall. And I'm going to continue to track it here in the Local 5 Weather Lab for you. That's it. Thanks for this update. I hope you stay safe. Keep weather aware tonight for those thunderstorms, as those will be rumbling through. And of course, I'll be keeping you updated no matter how you're catching my updates. We are Iowa Plus, on air, online, social media. I've got you covered. Stay safe. Have a good one tonight.